Hey, Awesomes, I'm back with you here talking about week 12. So this week, in addition to the Project 2 screencasts that are due this Sunday, recall that I had extended those for this week. And then we're also going to have our progress reports that are due. I copied and pasted in here for you. Again, here I'm on our Moodle page. So we got the videos posted for the previous weeks, and then for this week, and I'll post this video when I'm done with it. It'll probably end up being down here or somewhere around done. It'll be on the week 12 here. So I copied and pasted. This is directly from the assignment sheet. I said a 1 to 2 page progress report that includes information on the work that each team member has done, the work your team is currently doing, and the work your team will do. Then just reminded you that they're due this Sunday. So here's kind of like in general what we want these progress reports to do. How much of the work is complete, what part of the work is currently in progress, what work remains to be done. You might make note of any problems or unexpected things, if any that have arisen, and how is the project going in general. Please note that the progress report also has several important functions, and that is to reassure recipients, i.e. me, that you're making progress, that your team is making progress, that the project is going smoothly, and should be completed by the expected date. Provide us with a brief look, maybe at some of the findings or something that's interesting that you're finding, because really what you want to do is establish confidence. Give the recipients a chance to evaluate your work on the project and request changes. Give a chance to discuss any problems, and then I don't say maybe this shouldn't say force you, but allow you to establish a work schedule so that you'll complete the project on time. And these are all kind of things to be thinking about as you're addressing these sections or these bullet points. Again, kind of like with the proposal memo, I do expect you to kind of have like a professional header, something at the top that looks professional, that tells me who it's from, what it's about, the date. Maybe any things like that. And then I do expect to see an introduction or a background. I do expect there to be section headings. Those could be section headings based on completed work, and we're going to I'll look at a couple examples right now. The work that has to be done, currently in progress, remains to be done, problems, issues encountered, and overall evaluation of how the project is going, and any other forecasted kind of information that you have that I've got kind of in these bullet points here. So there's a couple of different. So here's one that they decided to do in the I guess you would call it we call it the genre of the memo, the business memo. So you've got the date, to, from, regarding, and then kind of like an overview of kind of like this person here, John, is responding to Bob and saying, here, this is the progress report you requested. Here's what's kind of coming. And then we've got a project overview, progress overview. This particular individual decided to break it up into objectives. If you wanted to do that, you can. And then on this particular one, provided a report outline of here's what I expect it to look like. Here's what's as I'm working on things. Here is kind of how it's going to look, by sections or whatever. If you so choose to do something similar to that. Here's another one that's kind of written in a business letter format. He says, so dear whoever it is, here's the background information, here's kind of what's been happening, some of the details of the overall project, a reminder of the project description, kind of what was going on, in this case, the purpose and the scope. And then here's kind of some of the things we were talking about I talked about earlier. Here's the work that's been completed, and they broke it down here. Notice how these headings, what we also call seriation, that lets the person know, okay, this is a project description, here is a review, here's the purpose and the scope that we have, what we're trying to find out, what we were doing, what we're kind of learning in the same way. As we kind of see it, right? Things that you've done in this project. Notice that they're saying cerebral palsy section will be discussed in the following 4 areas. So they're already starting to kind of like put together. So in our case, maybe in this particular type of a sentence here, we might say, that the issues that we're seeing as a result of reviewing the customer complaints might be discussed in the following 2 2 areas or 3 areas or 4 areas or whatever. And then the work that's been completed, here's what we've done. The current work, right now I'm mainly involved in here's what we're doing. We're collecting more information on this, or we're doing that, or we're analyzing, or we're doing research. We should be doing research, obviously. And then the future work. Here's kind of a mini plan, if you will. Here's what I plan to do. I need to insert my graphics. I need to make tables, put the graphics into illustration form. Here are some concerns. Remember we talked about, I'm concerned that some of the technical terminology might be confusing. So here's what I plan to kind of do to overcome that, or to address that issue perhaps. And then an overall assessment of the report in this particular one, where the project to give a seminar and technical background report on TS for children is to do this. I've not come across any obstacles, and then encloses a full detail outline. So some of these here have to have that. I'm not necessarily concerned about the outline. If you do have an idea of how it's going to start to look, provide me with that information. Again, recall that one of the purposes of this particular type of a report is to instill confidence in the person who's approved it. In this case, it's kind of me, have approved you working on this, and you're letting me know that, hey, we know what we're doing. This was our project and scope. Here's what we were trying to find out. Here's some background information, and here's what has to be done. All right, so here's one more to kind of look at. This one here is also like in a memo. Here's its to, from. We've got a kind of an introduction, if you will, a project description of kind of what we're doing. Here's like the scope. Here's what we're trying to find out. The work that's been completed, the present work. Here's future work, a conclusion, and then they've included a tentative outline. In this case too, instead of an outline, you could do a tentative schedule of how you plan on getting, these things completed or these things done, just as a few examples. Now, I do want to note here on these examples, pretty flexible, just as far as like the formatting. If you choose to do a letter, or if you want to do a memo again, that's completely fine. Just be consistent. More than anything, I'm looking to make sure that when I'm done reading your progress report, that it looks professional, and that I know that that each team has submitted one, and then I know who it's from, I know what it's regarding, and that I get a good idea of the entire project based on what you've got, right? So again, I'll be looking for an introduction or a background of the project that kind of describes the overall purpose, kind of what you were doing, what you're doing, and then section headings that address kind of these things right here are kind of the main takeaways for the progress report. Whether you decide to do it, here again, like in the letter format or more along the lines of a memo, I just want to see these type of headings. You can call them whatever you want to, just as long as you address and you're hitting all the things that we talked about. Work completed, present work, future work. Those are kind of key ones that you might want to keep in mind. All right, so that's it for the writing of the progress report. Please let me know if there's anything more that I can be doing for you guys. All right, stay healthy, stay safe. We'll talk again soon. Thanks. Bye.